Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can tell by the title, I have a lot of last minute dates for you guys. With it being Valentine's Day, literally like tomorrow basically, I wanted to make a list of top 10 last minute dates. Some of these things on my list aren't last minute, and these dates aren't just restricted to Valentine's Day. You guys can do this all throughout the year. If you are watching this video and it's not Valentine's Day, definitely take into consideration that you can do this any time of year, no matter where you live or whatever. Whether you have like an anniversary or you just want to go out on a cute little date with your significant other, I have a list for you guys. I think you guys are really going to enjoy everything that I have on my top 10 dates. So before we get started, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you know every time I upload. Follow me on my Instagram so you stay up to date with everything. And let's get started. So for the first date idea, this one, it only requires like a little bit of planning ahead of time, and it is to the movies. It's super basic, but when you go to like a dine-in theater, kind of like the AMC dine-in, it makes a great date because it's like two things in one. You get a dinner and you get food. You knock out two things in one. So it does just like require a little bit of planning, only because you need to figure out what you're gonna go see and what time it's at, but guaranteed there's always something good that's out every single week. Obviously, movies come out every Friday, and depending on the time of year, sometimes they will come out in the middle of the week too. So if you and your boyfriend or girlfriend just like love watching movies or going out to movies, that is a perfect date. And like I said, go to an AMC to have the little dine-in. I don't know if there's any other ones that do dine-in, because I have like 2 AMCs near me that do it. So that's just what I'm used to. And I know after like I think a certain time you have to be like 21 and older to go, because they do serve drinks. So look at that, you get drinks, dinner, and a movie all into one date. So the date idea number 2 is definitely a last minute one. You guys can just do it on the fly, and it is Topgolf or like mini golf if you don't have a Topgolf near you. Me and my boyfriend, we did Topgolf one time and it was so fun. You go in there, you're chilling, waiting for your bae, and you can sit at the bar and get drinks, and you enjoy the music, and then you get food when you're already out there. And that's something you could do any time of year. Like, it's winter here, but we just went, I think last month or 2 months ago. It was the end of December we went, so obviously it was cold out, but they have a bunch of heated lamps, and when you're in there it feels like it's like summertime. You don't feel the cold at all, so it's a perfect date to go on during any time of year. It also gives like a cute little healthy competition between you and your boo, and you guys can kind of just like try to beat each other, because that just, it makes it more fun when you could say that you beat them. But like I said, if you don't have a Topgolf near you, because I know there's like select locations, and I think in Jersey we only have like 2 or 1 or 2. I live luckily right near one, so it's perfect. But if you don't live near one, I'm sure you have mini golf near you anywhere. And if you don't have any type of mini golf near you either, bowling works as well, because there's bowling alleys everywhere. So bowling alleys, same thing. If you go like, I think on like a Friday night or like the weekend or whatever, there's definitely like DJs and food and lights and party, and like it's a nice little atmosphere you have going on, along with a little competition with your boo. So on to date idea number 3. This one only requires like a little setup. If you are doing the DIY version of it, it just requires a little setup. But if you are actually going to a place, then it does require a little bit of planning, and it is a sip and paint, so wine and paint, whatever you want to call it. It is a very popular date, or just even with your friends to go. Like if you're going, which is like just your girlfriends or anything, it is definitely a fun time to do. But it can also be very romantic, so that's why I do have it on my list. I personally think a DIY version is definitely more romantic and intimate, because it's just you and your partner there. You guys can have your little wine or whatever you want to sip on, and then create a little masterpiece if you guys are the creative types. But even if you're not the creative type, it's just fun to see what you guys come up with. Or even, I'm sure you can find stuff on YouTube of like videos to follow of like sipping wine sip and wine, sip and paint classes to follow along to on YouTube. But also there's a bunch of places and pop-ups that they do wine and paint, sip and paint, whatever you want to call it. And you can just set up to go to those and pick exactly which painting you want to do. So those are like based on different types of weeks, what week they're going to be painting what. So definitely check that out if you guys have a place near you. It would be a great date to go on. Also, you may not think it, but you do get a little tipsy as the painting goes. So it's fun to see how your paint ends up looking, because by the end it could be looking crazy, or it could just be a masterpiece and you guys have something that you've made together. So the next date just requires getting outside, and it is exploring a new city, or just exploring a big city near you, or even just like a downtown area. It's always fun to go into a city. Like here, I live next to New York City, so me and my boyfriend like to go there a lot, especially they always have events depending on which borough we go to. There's always different stuff going on depending on the times of year that we go. So definitely check out any big cities that you may live by if they are hosting anything. But even like I said, the downtown areas may have something. Like in your town, you may have a big downtown area, and just explore, walk around, check out the shops. Downtown areas are perfect for like little restaurants, coffee shop, and just like little boutiques that you can't find anywhere else. Going out to a big city is definitely such a fun experience, because you're getting away from like your suburbs or like little town that you may be in, and you're just exploring and having a great time. And honestly, exploring a new city together is something so fun, because you're both like pointing out things, and it's just like taking in the moment for real of something that like you may not even consider it to be a date. Like you guys are just going to the city. It could just be a day date or a night date, and like you find a cute restaurant to go to and you just make a whole day out of it. That's definitely one of my favorite dates me and my boyfriend like to do, is go to the city. So I'm highly suggesting that to you guys too. So halfway through the list, my date number 5 I have for you guys is cooking together. Now you guys can make a brand new dish, or you can show each other your favorite dishes to make, and it's honestly such a great experience. Me and my boyfriend love to do this like every week now, especially because, you know, 2020, like everybody else is saying, we're trying to save money. There's food at home. So what we're doing is just like, we'll just go out to eat once a month instead of every single week. So instead, we're learning new dishes, and we want to try expanding our horizons on cooking and our cooking skills. So it's definitely more fun to do it together, because you get to learn how each other cooks and like how each other seasons things. Like if you guys are in an interracial relationship, then you guys definitely do things differently depending on your backgrounds. So it's always fun to learn new tips and tricks while in the kitchen, and then it could spice up your relationship and just spice up your food too. I personally like to get my recipes from YouTube. I'll link down below 2 of my favorite ones that I love to go to, because the things that I made from those 2 channels that I watch about cooking, ooh, girl. They tasted so good, and it just makes you excited to cook, especially when they explain it so well. So moving on to more food, date number 6 is a picnic. Now, depending on where you are, you could do a picnic literally anywhere. You could do a picnic like in the summertime under the stars. There's some places, I know specifically here, I know they do like a picnic not picnic under the stars, but like movie under the stars. And so it'll be set up super cute. There's like a huge movie screen, and then you could just like have a cute little picnic there and a little date night, watching a movie, eating like cute little snacks, or just like a cute little picnic, and you're outside, and it's such a good time. But then if you don't have that, obviously you can go to a park, and it could be any time of year. It's really pretty, personally, in my opinion, in the fall when all the leaves are changing. If the leaves do change near you, definitely I would highly suggest doing a picnic in the fall. If you are a fall lover, you love all the leaves changing colors. And I know it's the middle of winter, but I already can't wait for fall. But before fall comes summer, and if you live somewhere already warm, then you can always do a picnic on the beach, which doesn't sound like a bad idea at all. Now, I know the beaches here, we're not really allowed to have alcohol and like glass bottles on the beach, but if where you live you could do that, then bring that bottle of wine straight to the beach, and then make like cute little sandwiches or snacks or anything like that. Picnics can be literally like anywhere that you want to have one. It could be in your backyard if you really want to. It's just a super cute date idea, in my opinion, to sit there and have a picnic. It's like so romantic and like old school to do. And I feel like you don't see that a lot nowadays either. It's always like a thought to do, but then nobody does it, because I've had it on my list for years to do and we have not done it yet, but hopefully this summer we'll get to that. So these next couple of date ideas, they definitely do require a little bit of planning and figuring out a date to go on, like the actual day of the month and all of that to go on. So the first one that I have is a comedy show. Now this doesn't have to be a whole big like Kevin Hart tour a whole Kevin Hart tour, or like somebody huge, even though that would be a bunch of fun, but that's also way more expensive if you guys are trying to stay on a budget as well. When I think of comedy show, I've been to actually one. I went with some friends like back in high school. We went to a comedy show and it's just like one of the local ones. Like you go to a local comedy club, if you have one near you, definitely do research if you do have one near you, because I feel like they are pretty common in a lot of places. But just like watching amateur people do comedy, or like those people who are starting off their career and they're doing stand-up, it's hilarious. And if you're one like me who I love watching comedy stuff, and like that's one thing I do like watching on Netflix too, is like I'll watch all the comedy specials because I just love to laugh. And when you're sitting there on a date laughing with the other person, that's one thing that you guys are going to connect on. You guys are now gonna have inside jokes about these jokes that these people are saying. So even though like going to like a big Kevin Hart or a Tiffany Haddish or like anybody like that big show, even though that would be tons of fun, that requires way more planning, because you have to buy the tickets in advance, figure out which day it is going to be in your area or your town or whatever, and spend more money on it. But one thing I actually did just think of that would be tons of fun and I definitely would want to go to is when Wild 'N Out goes on tour, because that would be hilarious to watch live. So to go along with that, my next date idea is a concert. So you guys can go see each other's favorite bands or group or person, whatever. Or if you guys both share the same favorite, that makes the concert even more better. It's such a great experience to go to a concert with your significant other, because you guys are just like vibing together to the music. You got a little drink in your hand and it's just a good time. You're just like singing your lungs out. Just do not record it if you're singing, because you know the next day you are getting onto Instagram or Snapchat or whatever and you hear yourself back and you're just like, I probably should have sang that loud, thinking I'm part of Destiny's Child, thinking I'm backup singer for Beyonce and all that. But so concerts are a great time. Again, that does take a lot of planning, because you have to wait to see when that specific person or group or whatever is going on tour, when they're going to be in your city, and you would have to buy these tickets in advance. And depending on who it is, sometimes it does get a little pricey, even if you are getting like nosebleed seats, but it's all about the experience. And if you're willing to drop that money, make it a date, spoil your boo, and it is such a great time. So my next date idea is going to a festival. Now, this does not have to be one of those raves, type of festivals. That's not the first thing that needs to come to your mind. So festivals meaning, now it could be a music fest, but it could be literally any type of music fest. But one thing that I like to go to, and me and my boyfriend definitely like to go to, are food festivals, because we're such foodies. Obviously, how many things on this date list that I mentioned food in? But definitely like during the summertime, there's a lot of food festivals going on, especially in this area here. Like there's tons of food festivals to go to. My favorite one is Smorgasburg in Brooklyn. That one is a ton of fun and it's a gorgeous view. Like I'll put pictures here. Just gorgeous views, and you can get cute little pics and eat really good food. But besides that, there's a bunch of like food truck fests, or even me and my boyfriend went to a bacon fest. Like a whole festival dedicated to bacon. There's literally a festival for anything. I know there's I know in my town they do like a Greek festival. So check it out in your like local area, what type of fests are going on, just to see what you guys could possibly do. It's definitely a fun thing to do like on a Saturday. If you and your partner, your boo, whatever, have nothing to do for the day, check out if there's a fest going on. We even went to Curl Fest, a whole festival for curly hair, which I'll link that vlog down below too if you guys did not see that. I know that was back in the summer, so if you guys are new here, you probably haven't seen my Curl Fest video, so that will be down below as well. But literally there is festivals for anything, so go find one near you. And my last date idea, now this one could be free depending on where you go, or it could just be like a donation type of thing, or it might cost money depending on where you go, and it is going to a museum or an aquarium, whatever floats your boat. Now, not all museums need to be boring and like school trip type of museums that are very educational. Unless you're really into that, then go ahead. But some museums can be super fun, and especially like the pop-up ones that are going on a lot lately. Those technically are museums, like Rose Mansion. We went there last year, 2 years ago, one of that. They had it in the city and then they brought it back to the city, and I think they had it in LA too. But that's a great time, and it's great for photo ops too. That's the thing with these museums and pop-ups, is that it's great if you want some cute pics for Instagram or whatever, and it's a cute just date to go to. So you have Rose Mansion, you have Museum of Illusions, which I know it's in the city. I don't know if it's anywhere else. There's the Museum of Ice Cream, which I wanted to go to, but then it wasn't in New York anymore, so I was so mad that it wasn't there anymore. But I know they definitely had that one in like Miami and in LA as well. A lot of the like pop-up museums do happen in LA and New York, but I'm sure you guys can find something near you that is similar, because these pop-up museums are definitely very, very, very popular, and they're such a fun time. Also, if you guys are into aquariums, I put that with museums too, because it really is a fun time to go to a museum and just like, I mean, not a museum, go to an aquarium with your boo and just like see all the marine life that you don't see on an everyday basis. It's like when we went to Baltimore for, when was that? Labor Day weekend, we went to the National Aquarium and it was amazing. I personally just like love marine life, so it was a really good experience, but it was also really fun, and they make it so cool in there. So if you have an aquarium near you, which I feel like is more popular around places than museums are depending on where you live, definitely go check either one of those out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed and you got a lot of date ideas. These are definitely all things that I love to do, and they're just a great time. So if you're looking for new things to do, maybe you haven't done some of the things on this list yet, or you're in a new relationship, or you just want to spice up your relationship and you didn't think of any of these ideas before, I would definitely highly recommend you guys doing some of these dates, not only for Valentine's Day, but for any time of the year. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. You made it to the end of the video, you might as well subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload, and I will see you all next time.